Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Conversion Therapy. I am, of course, one of your hosts, Justin.
I'm your other host, Jordan.
And today is January 23rd. I don't know why I said that. I was going to say something else, but I didn't know what I was going to say. Um, how's the year been for you so far, Jordan?
Um, how's the year been? Wow, you're putting me on the spot here. It's been more of the same shit, to be honest with you. I mean, it hasn't been so bad. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Are you getting closer to the light?
Yeah, a little bit every day. I mean, so are you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm talking about death.
I'm not.
What are you
For
talking
me.
about? You're talking
For
about
you,
enlightenment?
yes. But for me, no.
What you're reverse
I don't
aging?
even need to think that.
You're like the curious case of Benjamin Button.
Exactly. It's so funny. So I was watching an episode of Ink Master. Have you ever watched that show
Yeah, I
before?
love that show. Yeah.
Okay, so are you like fully caught up on that show, or like
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
what was the last season you watched?
Um, um, Oh, I've never watched like a full season. I've like if it's on TV, I've watched like episodes here and there, but
So a little bit of a spoiler alert. So skip ahead a little bit if you don't want to hear it. But I think it was season 8 was the season that Ryan Ashley won. She was the first female winner. She tattooed. I really hope it was her and not somebody else, but I'm pretty sure it was her. So she did like a portrait of this one like baby, and she was going up against this other guy, and there's like a lot of controversy because I think she was put in the bottom of that episode, but like her tattoo was actually really good. And the guy that she was going up against, everyone said that his portrait looked like Benjamin Button. And it's so funny because like I've heard a lot about, it's a movie, right?
you
The
don't even
Curious
know?
Case of Benjamin Button is not the
Yeah, do,
movie.
do you know the premise?
No.
So it's like it's a person they reverse age. So like it's Brad Pitt and he's born and he's old and when he dies he's a baby.
Wait, is Brad Pitt?
Yeah, it's Brad Pitt in the movie.
I thought it is Zac Efron in the movie.
Oh, that's way too no, it's way too long ago for Zac Efron to be in that movie. Maybe they did a new one or something.
Oh, it was a 2008 film. Oh, it is Brad Pitt. I did not. Oh, Kate Blanchett. I love her. But okay, interesting, weird. I don't know why I thought of Zac Efron there, but but yeah, I remember because I've heard about that movie. I've never watched it, so I have no idea what it's about. Um, but yeah, as soon as I heard that, I looked it up and I was like, it's kind of true. It was a bad tattoo.
Well, Ink Masters, like you know what I always feel bad is when they're like doing a tattoo on somebody and like the judges will come by and look and they'll be like, "Oh man, like that's really bad." Could you imagine being the person like getting this tattoo and like you haven't even seen it yet and someone's
Yeah,
doing it and like the judges are telling the person like it's shitty and you're fucking it up. They're like, "Okay, great,
yeah,
great,
that'd
great."
be that'd be pretty bad. But yeah, I think Ryan. I honestly like. I don't know if I'm biased, but I think Ryan Ashley is their best winner. Straight up, like she had not that many years of experience. She had like really, really good tattoos. Like her worst one was still like better than majority of the other tattoos of her season. Plus, they did like a thing where they invited a bunch of veterans back, including like a few winners, to do like a tattoo for like $25,000 for uh, this one. I think it was like season 12 or something like that. And then she won it, and like I don't know, she's just like I think she's one of their best, if not the best, honestly. Yeah, but I love how this literally right away went to fucking oh yeah, because Benjamin Button. But yeah, I I feel like if I were to get tattooed, I would pay a lot of money to get tattooed from her. Like she'd be my go-to. I mean, I probably wouldn't, because like
Yeah,
I think she tattoos out of like Pennsylvania or something like that.
but the thing is artists like that, like even if you pay them a lot of money, like a lot of them, their books are just closed, and they'll be like,
Yeah,
yeah, like, and then they're very selective about the projects they'll take on. Like they'll be like, if your tattoo idea is cool, then like I'll think about it.
yeah, she's like a black and gray artist,
Yeah,
but
that's
like
like my
she's done a lot of good like colored shit.
yeah, black and gray is my jam because like dark skin doesn't go
Yeah,
well with
I
color.
couldn't. Weird. I would never get that from you. But yeah, let's dive straight in. So Jordan's gonna run us through our first topic of the session, which is gonna be the good old Sackler family, which we've actually talked about. I mean, I think we've talked about them on multiple episodes.
I think once we briefly touched on it. I don't think it was a current event though. I
We were
think
just
it was
talking about
just
like big pharma, and we
yeah,
brought
we were
them
talking
up.
about big pharma.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll give you this is a little bit of a rundown on the whole situation. So there was some recent developments in this case. So the Sackler family or the Sackler dynasty, they're a very, very rich family that sort of has their hands in many different things in the medical community. So the majority of them are doctors or licensed doctors. So I think the father, the first Sackler who sort of started the dynasty was Arthur Sackler. He was a physician. He worked for marketing in big pharma. He owned big pharma, and he also owned a big pharma sort of publication company. And you can see like there's a lot of conflict of interest there because you know what I mean. Like he'd market these products. He would he would own these products. He'd market them, and then he'd also put them in his publications. Backed by doctors, which were sort of in his inner circle. So um, that's sort of where I got my hatred for big pharma. If you guys are interested in this topic, there's a book called Empire of Pain that I would definitely look into by what's his name, Patrick Radden Keefe. It's like one of the greatest pieces of investigative literature that you'll ever read. So anyway, he created this shell company called Purdue Pharma, which eventually was the company that created Oxy. Obviously, I think it's a Schedule One drug. But so basically, the company is now like Arthur has passed away. The company is now owned by his kids and his grandchildren. So basically, it's been shown for years and years and years that Purdue Pharma knew of the highly addictive properties of the drug, aggressively marketed it, had data on doctors who were sort of like pill factories who you could just go and pay money and get Oxy from, and they were aggressively selling to these people, knowing how many prescriptions they were writing. They're facing currently they're facing I think I read 150 municipal municipal cases and then thousands of civil cases. So what's been happening is Purdue Pharma over a decade ago sort of saw the writing on the wall and knew that this is what was going to happen. So they've been slowly withdrawing billions of dollars out of the company over the last decade. So what they've decided to do, I think it was 3 years ago, is they filed for bankruptcy protection. And I guess the bankruptcy, what happens in that case, whenever there is a large amount of money and there's civil lawsuits, that the lawsuits also attach to the company that files for bankruptcy protection. It all goes to bankruptcy court. So all these individual civil cases are now fighting over what's left of the shell company. So what happened was the bankruptcy judge, I think this was around the time that they filed for bankruptcy, said that basically there was a number discussed that was going to be dispersed, and the Sackler family themselves would be shielded from all future civil litigation against them. So basically, they were going to pay like pennies on the dollar for all these civil lawsuits. So now what's happened? It happened December 16th, 2021. A judge now came in for this on the civil side, not on the bankruptcy side, and overruled the bankruptcy judge, saying that he doesn't have the power to do that. Basically, the deal is void and they have to go back to the drawing table and come back with a new one, because he's saying that that judge doesn't have the authority for the Sacklers to forego all future civil litigation against them. And the reason he said that is because he's saying that the Sacklers themselves aren't filed for bankruptcy. It's Purdue Pharma that's filing for bankruptcy. So when at the end of that book that I'm saying that I read, Radden Keefe said he didn't think that was going to be possible. Everything was pointing to the Sacklers sort of getting off scot-free with this. So this is a huge and very unexpected ruling to come down.
Yeah, I remember. I think the article that you sent me about it from the New York Times, I think it was posted like more than a month ago. I think it was like mid-December about like the update. I can't remember. I think was the original ruling back in September, or was it like further back?
The latest one?
Because she overruled it.
Yeah, it was when I looked it up. I think it was December 16th.
Yeah, but when was the ruling that she overruled?
Let's look. I have the article open. Um, doesn't really say. The thing I found funny about this though is that the way that the Sacklers are playing this off is they're saying that oh well, now that this has happened, now there's going to be even less money to like fight opioid addiction in the future and do all the things that we said we were going to do.
Yeah, it's funny. In recent months, members of Congress have proposed legislation called the Sackler Act to preclude owners from receiving such protections unless they file for bankruptcy themselves.
The other thing too that's worth mentioning is when they were applying to get the seal of approval from the FDA on Oxy in the first place, um, they basically greased up the main person who was overseeing the drug, and then that person ended up quitting and getting a job with Purdue Pharma a few years later.
What do you think about her overruling?
I love it, fucking love it, because honestly, a lot of people think that like the opioid epidemic is caused by Oxy,
Yeah.
because what happened is so they sort of got a slap on the wrist about a decade ago. They got fined like however much money it was, and they paid their reparations, and then they were allowed to carry on. But then it happened again because they sort of went back to the well again. What they did at that time is they, to show that they cared, they put this sort of like this time, this basically like one of the ways that people abuse this drug is they would either crush it and snort it, or they would you could suck off like the film on the outside that helps the capsule be time released. So you could sort of suck it off, and then you could consume it, and it would all hit you at once. So what they did is they made it so you couldn't do that anymore. So like basically like you couldn't just suck it off the pill. It would be time release if you consumed it. So what these people did when A, that happened, and B, they couldn't get Oxy anymore because it was a banned narcotic, because they went straight to heroin because it was easier to get, it was cheaper. So yeah, a lot of people blame this drug for the epidemic that's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, so it looks like they says under the crash of thousands of lawsuits, Purdue filed for bankruptcy restructuring in September 2019, which automatically put a hold on all claims against it. I wonder when the first fucking ruling was about it. Because I remember reading an article, and the article was back in September of 2021, which is when I thought the original ruling was. But I don't think it stated when it was. I just went off of that date, but I guarantee you that's not when it was either, because I feel like that's definitely like a late thing. It might have just been like an updated article on the situation that's going on. But yeah, in court, lawyers said there were more than 800 lawsuits that named the Sacklers. I mean, yeah, I agree with the decision. And like, I mean, before it was even like defined, I probably would have agreed with it. I mean, we talked about this before, like in relation to like Big Pharma, because Big Pharma shady as fuck, but the Sackler
So
family is like
shady.
a huge part of that.
Yep. And I won't mention the name because I know you're not a fan, but there was he was a professor, and he was talking about Big Pharma, and he was on a certain podcast that you don't like.
Mm,
He was saying that he was talking about how in relation to other countries, how the U.S. specifically, like the way that they market, that Big Pharma is allowed to market, no other country allows their industry to do that. I think it was the U.S. and some other country that like I forget right now. I want to say New Zealand, but I'm not sure. It's not Canada for sure, but like the way that they're allowed to aggressively market, like they don't. Most countries don't let their drug companies do that, and I actually think they shouldn't.
yeah, I mean, after all this, I would fucking agree. I mean, probably before even all of this, I would still agree. But yeah, I'm kind of interested to see what's gonna happen with this.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, like I'm glad that this happened, but all I think it's going to cost like the Sacklers a little bit out of their own pocket, but like they're billionaires,
Yeah.
so
Do you think
so
majority of them are going to be settlements?
yeah, I think so. I think so. Um, yeah, like, and the thing is with them that's worth mentioning too is they like so because of what's happened recently, this hasn't been a thing, but throughout their whole history of Purdue Pharma, they've always wanted to keep their name out of the business because they're like this started with Arthur, where Arthur really, it was really important to him to leave a legacy. So like he decided that the way he was going to do that was he wanted his name on these institutions. So like there was a lot of huge universities and art museums that had like the Sackler exhibit because he would donate millions of dollars to them. So it was like the Sacklers were known as like philanthropists. They weren't really known as connected to big pharma,
Yeah.
where the cat's out of the bag now. And a lot of these places that they gave money to have pulled their names off the wall, rightfully so. But they had shielded themselves for it for decades.
Yeah. I mean, I hope that majority of them aren't settlements and that they just pay full fucking price for what they're supposed to pay. But I guarantee you, I mean, they are like what, one of the richest fucking families in the planet. They're
Yeah,
probably going to be mainly all settlements, knowing
yeah.
how like the freaking justice system works and this type of shit.
And you should see like the shit that their lawyers pull. Like that's what makes me think that they're not gonna pay full price. Is like their lawyers are fucking good, man.
Yeah, I know this article, that the New York Times article, it says like the Sacklers did not respond to the requests for comments on Thursday evening, but they've probably said something of the sort since. Um, oh my god, I thought it said appalled. I was like, it was talking about like some of the lawyers' reactions. They're most likely representing, yeah, lawyers for a small group of states that had appealed the plan immediately hailed the ruling. This is a seismic victory for justice and accountability that will reopen the deeply flawed Purdue bankruptcy and force the Sackler family to confront the pain and devastation they've caused. Yeah, yeah. Um, I wonder how there's going to be like a breakdown for like any updates, because I guarantee you, I mean, they're probably going to talk about like major court cases, but with what they said, 800 court cases, they're probably not going to talk about every single one. I hope
No,
they do
probably not.
like a. I mean, they're most likely just going to do like how much money the Sacklers have to pay these people, or maybe they'll like I said, they'll cover uh, the bigger cases. But I hope they do like a recap or just like a summary of like how every single case went, or like just like a like, oh, like I don't know, just I don't know. I want them to suffer, and I want to find pleasure in them suffering. But yeah, I don't know if they're gonna do that. I don't know how it's normally done for
Well, yeah,
instances.
I think the reason we received this update in the first place is because all the cases had been lumped into one because it was all in bankruptcy court. So
Yeah,
yeah, I think it is going to be interesting to see. I think we might even have to like I actually think like obviously the civil lawsuits are a big monetary thing, but there's tons of like states and municipalities that are individually suing them as well. I forget the states. It was in the book, but like there's specific states that like this was like a war zone. This drug was a war zone.
yeah. I'm assuming Connecticut was one of them, just because the quote that I read about. I need to find it now. That a quote that oh, here we go, the whole devastation they've caused, that was a quote from the Attorney General of Connecticut, so I'm assuming that Connecticut was one of those states.
I actually think that Purdue Pharma's headquarters was in Connecticut. That could be why too.
Yep, Stamford, Connecticut, it says right here. Yeah, actually, yeah, that makes sense. But I mean, I'm sure when they because I don't know if majority of these cases will be kind of taken at the same time, which I hope it's like that, just because I feel like it would be uh like not like easier to report, but I feel like it would be easier to find updates if it was like if majority of them were at the same time. But I'm sure if they did it like that, they would have the list of all the states that would be covered,
Yeah,
which
but like the thing is like there's so many things that they marketed that were just false. Like for example, they said that this was supposed to work for 8 hours. There's clinical data that's been shown to prove that it worked about half as long as they said, and they knew it, but they told people that this is how long it works. The second
mm-hmm.
thing is it's like any other drug, right? So like if it works, if 5 milligrams works for you, it works for you for a little while, and then you need 10, and then you need 20, and like it's a fucking opioid.
Yeah.
And then the last thing they said is about it being addictive. They said that they have no data of it being an addictive drug. that was shown to be untrue as well. They knew how addictive it was.
You know what I find annoying? Wait, I'm gonna see if they did it. So I made this mistake. So if you make the mistake, I'm not gonna judge you because I made the same mistake.
Wow, you're not going to judge me if I make a mistake?
I still will, but it's nice to say.
Okay.
Just so you feel confident.
That sounds more realistic.
Thank you. How do you spell Connecticut?
Oh, I'm not fucking trying that here.
Try it.
No.
I made the mistake.
I'm going to have to write it. Okay, let me pull up my notepad.
You can't cheat.
I'm not going to cheat. You think I am?
If you get this right, I'm going to be mad.
I just need a notepad to type in or something. Now I can't find my fucking notepad.
I love the light reflecting off your forehead. But it's not even your forehead, that's your head.
No, that's
it's the tippity top of your head.
Yeah, I can't find anything to type on. Okay, hold on one sec. Okay, I was typing in my search bar.
No, because that's an autofill, you fucking cheater.
Okay,
Don't
okay.
even.
I didn't.
Oh yeah. Oh, I don't have my notepad here. I'm just gonna type it in my autofill search bar. Oh, that doesn't work. Let me type it in my message box here. Let me just.
Hold on. Can I type it in my file explorer? Like my quick access? Okay, I'm gonna do it.
I hope you don't have a file that has the spelling.
No, I don't.
Connecticut.
No, I don't, because it would have already come up. It looks wrong.
How are you spelling it?
Looks wrong.
How are you spelling it?
I got. That looks wrong.
The first letter is C, Jordan. Don't worry, it is C.
CONN.
Mm-hmm.
ET. Am I good so far?
Keep going.
This is where it gets wacky. ICUT.
Wait, what? Where is where it gets wacky?
Okay, CONN ETICUT.
Where's the part that gets wacky for you?
The E to the IC looks wrong. Something looks wrong in there.
You said CONNET, and then you were like, "This is where it gets wacky," and I was like, "Wait,
you're already wrong."
Because yes. I was like, "This is where it gets wacky."
Wait,
I thought you were gonna be like ICET, like Connecticut. So it's CONNECT. So it's like Connecticut. So you got
Connecticut.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I did the same thing you did. Because it's
you spelled it the exact same way.
It's Connecticut. Like I didn't think to, and I don't fucking live in the States, so I don't need to worry about that. I know where Connecticut is on a fucking map, but like I don't need to worry about like.
I don't know where Connecticut is on a map.
I don't know how to like exactly describe it. You know those small states on the right of the U.S.
Yeah.
Like looped in with like kind of like New York, New Hampshire, all that, Vermont. It's one of those states.
That area gets fucking wacky.
Yeah, it really does. The one thing I know about that section is like Maine is the very, very eastern state. That's like the only thing I know. Well, now I know them all, but the one thing that I knew for sure, like taking a U.S. state quiz was.
Do you actually know them all?
Yeah. If you give me a map, I could.
So what if you did the state quiz that just showed you like the shape of the state, like with not in the country? Could you get it that way still?
Like, what do you mean? So it was just like the shape of the country, and then it just highlights.
No. That's easier. I'm talking like if they pull it out of the country and just show you the state. Could you get it that way?
Yes.
Okay.
Like the outline of the state, right?
Yeah.
Connecticut is like it's like a rectangle. I don't know. It's like a rectangle with a little bit of shape. Like I think the most confusing states for me are like Maryland and Massachusetts. I get them confused a lot. I used to get Kansas confused. I don't really get it confused anymore. Kentucky, I now know more, but I used to get Kentucky and like Virginia confused because they're pretty similar. And then like Missouri, Indiana, like those are kind of. But like I'm fairly confident I can get 50 if I took a quiz right now. I don't know. I taught myself because I used to get confused with Kansas, Missouri, and Kentucky, but they're literally like all in the same section. So it's like Kansas, or well, I don't know. This isn't gonna look good, but like from left to right, it's like Kansas, Missouri, Kentucky. From like where I got confused, but yeah, and then like Indiana's kind of by Ohio, and then yeah, and I thought New York was in a different place than it was.
Hey, change the topic, but what's your level of concern about your cell phone like taking data from you and spying?
Sorry, I thought it was gonna at least be like a little bit related to what we were talking about.
No, it's not.
How so?
Like,
Like, do you mean when they give you the thing where it's like, oh, we're gonna use data from like other apps to like give you recommendations for apps?
Like I'm talking about like if you know, have you ever had it where like you look something up on the internet and then you open up your Facebook and there's like a targeted ad for that thing?
Yeah, and then like or on YouTube and you're like talking about something and you're like you're like looking and then you're all of a sudden it's like recommended 5 videos for it and you're just like,
yeah, that too. Or like they'll be like the really weird ones is like I remember this one time I was like talking to KFC. I was talking about KFC to somebody, and then like I opened up my Facebook, and it's like fucking KFC. I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't even input anything into my phone. It was just listening to me.
Yeah, I was like talking. Oh, girl, I was talking to a coworker. I need to like I was thinking about saying the name. That's why I'm like needed to save myself. I was talking to a coworker about something, and then I opened up my YouTube, and there's furry porn. I'm just like, why is this even on my YouTube? Like I didn't even think about that. But. Yeah, it is weird sometimes where I'll just like.
Did that actually happen?
No.
Oh, okay.
It was not on YouTube.
That makes it less funny. Oh, okay.
No. It's so funny. So back in my youth days, I didn't know of porn sites.
In your youth days. Okay,
I know, right? I didn't know of porn sites. I didn't know like Pornhub, X videos, all that stuff. I hope I can name drop. Whatever. Fair use, bitch. So yeah, I didn't know of those sites when I was looking up porn as a kid, and I would look on YouTube. I would search up like naked boobs, and then like gay porn. I know. Okay,
you searched up naked
story
boobs?
time. So grade 4 was the first time that I've ever like looked up porn, and I searched up naked boobs, and I was not aroused. Is that young?
That's so young.
Oh.
I mean, okay. Here.
Girl.
I think for me it was grade 6. So
I touched a penis at 11. Fuck off. Thank you. And it wasn't my own for those for those watching, for those listening. But yeah, maybe I don't know. I don't know. We were just like, even like if we did it in class, like a group of guys and I did it in class, we looked up naked boobs on the back.
On a school computer.
Yes, on a school computer. And we got caught.
How'd you get caught?
The teacher saw us. We did it while the teacher was away, and then she just suddenly came back, and then she was like, why is naked boobs up on the back? And I'm just like, oh no.
So like didn't even find it from the
yeah I didn't even get in trouble for it. I sold out the guys.
They did it.
I was like, what are you guys doing? And then she was like, oh no, you're safe. I don't even think you're gonna.
She's like, I know you. You'd never look up.
She's like, okay, well, I know all the girls are safe in this classroom, and Justin. But yeah, I did in grade 4. I looked at naked boobs, and I wasn't aroused by it at all. But that was just something that I searched up, and then I searched it up on Google Images, and that's where I got some stuff. But yeah, then I found like I would look up like gay porn on YouTube, and I would find like sexual like gay kissing scenes, but never like porn or anything. Like it would cut off before that, but they would still be like it would be like the kissing parts of porn videos that were posted to YouTube. And so there were some hot ones. Like honestly, like if I find something on YouTube, I would be like, oh wait, I've seen that before. But I remember there was one, and it was entitled, and I'm not even kidding, I literally remember the name of it. So it was gay kissing, but it was all caps, and there were spaces between every letter. And it was like this kind of like these two guys, they were playing soccer, and then they went back into the locker room, and it was really fucking hot. So one of them like pushed the other guy up against the wall, and the guy that pushed the other guy up against the wall, he was the hot one. And the other guy was attractive, but this bitch was hot. And I was like, and that provided a lot of good content in my life. And then it went away, and I can never find it again. I'm very disappointed because like,
probably too vulgar for YouTube.
What do you mean vulgar?
Oh,
at that age?
No. That's probably why it was taken down.
It was probably taken down because they need to confirm my age. But no, I can't even find it now. I tried looking it up recently.
Down because like this one person keeps watching it.
They were like, yeah, we went from 100 views to 18,000 in one night, and it's coming from this one desk IP in Canada. I don't think we should. But yeah, I mean, I would pay money to watch that video again. That video was hot. Like
Mhm.
that video probably sparked my interest for like being pushed up against the wall. Like that was hot. That was really hot. Do you have
Wait,
any like
was this still grade 4?
around the age? Yeah.
Hmm.
Um
How did we go from me asking you about is your phone spying on you
well
to
we
gay porn videos on YouTube?
I just like talking about gay porn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So but uh we were talking about how you think it's weird how we get like certain recommendations after like talking about it or like searching out maybe one time like on YouTube, and then I talked about furry porn as a joke, and then you were like, are you really kidding? And I was like, no,
Right,
that wasn't
right.
on YouTube. And then I was like, YouTube doesn't have this, and then I talked about like naked boobs and whatever. Yeah. Do you have any like do you remember like how old you were when you first started watching porn? As
Okay.
grade 4 is too young?
I told you grade 6, so that's why I was like,
Okay.
it's not that young, I guess, but yeah, grade 6.
Do you have any like do you remember like the first porn videos that you watched?
The thing is like, I'm sorry, mom and dad, if you're watching this, but I always got caught, but not like in the act.
Yeah.
Like I just like my dad would go on the computer the next day and it would just be like, pop up, pop up, pop
Yeah,
up, pop
I
up.
would do my best to like, cause like I didn't know about incognito mode, which is now like it doesn't
I
pop up in
didn't
your
know about
history.
clear history.
Exactly. Well, I mean, I did after like a few times of getting caught, but sometimes I didn't do it properly. But I mean, yeah, of course there were sometimes. Bitch, I couldn't predict them when somebody's gonna walk into the computer room.
Dude,
Like if I'm in my room, I'm fine because I
I
know
wouldn't
time
do it
frames
with
of
anybody.
sleeping.
I wouldn't do it when anybody was home.
Oh, I would do it midday on the
See,
weekend.
see, when I was that old, we had a communal computer. So like, yeah, like I would, yeah, that wouldn't be a thing I would do when people were home.
I can also hide it a lot better than majority of people can hide it because like if it's for like like majority of men, they obviously masturbate with their hands. So to like hide it, you need to like that's like a full action if you hear somebody opening your door. I just have to readjust the way that I'm sitting, baby. It ain't that hard. And like
But
a
I
lot
remember,
of it
like,
I could get away with. The only part that I wouldn't get away with was if I still had the video up, or like if it was on it was on like my history. But if I had my own computer, like I had my own computer, and of course I would get viruses and stuff. And like I had one computer that I can remember that literally stopped working because I had so many viruses. But like if I had my own computer, like as long as it was working, they didn't care, like because they knew that that was going to be something that I did at my age. It was normal for a kid to kind of look into that.
I mean, honestly, like I feel like to a certain extent that's what most parents' attitudes should be.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's definitely not what my parents' attitude was. Like every time I got caught, it'd be like 2 months, no computer. Yeah, man.
Why?
And then I get caught again, and it'd be another 2 months. And like it wasn't a deterrent for me. It just
And
wasn't.
it went up until I moved out.
No, but yeah, the other thing I was gonna say, you have to remember too, like when we got our first computer, like that was around the time when like
Back
it
in
was
my day, when I got my first computer, the wheel had just been invented.
shut up. No, but that was back when like families were just starting to get like a computer into a house was like a new thing. Like actually, like Windows 95 was the first system that we ever operated on.
Yeah.
And then I even remember too, I was only allowed on the internet 15 minutes at a time because my mom couldn't make phone calls because of 56K modem.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. I
Yeah.
remember, like whenever I was at my grandma's, before like we actually lived at my grandma's, she had this one game, and it was kind of like this Candy Crush game, but it wasn't Candy Crush. But oh, I miss it so much. It looked like so ancient, and like the sounds were really good. And oh, I don't know if she still has the game, but I miss that game a lot. I don't even know if she still has the computer that she had, but I played that game all the time. And then there's also another game in daycare. You would always want to get the computer just to play this one game, and I don't know, like depending on how good your behavior was that day, they would give you like top of the choice for like what you wanted to do. You could play like on the computer, you could play video games. There was like air hockey. There were like certain games you could play, like board games or whatever. But anyone on the top of the list, they would always go for the computer. And so like, oh, I wanted a computer so bad. Every time. I literally got in trouble because like they were like, oh, you have good behavior, like we're gonna give you first choice. And I'm like, computer. And they were like, oh, you didn't say it nice enough, you're not getting the computer. I'm like, what? Like that's the thing that breaks me, bitch? Are you fucking kidding me? But I do kind of miss daycare though, weirdly, because I don't know, apparently I shouldn't, but I miss some of the teachers. I also, okay, if anyone from that used to teach at the daycare that I went to, they'll know me, bitch. You ain't forget me. There was one guy, and I think he was like the only male kind of teacher there at the time that I went. He was like one of the first intros to like guys for me. That like one of the first guys that I ever found attractive.
Oh, I thought it was like one of the first guys you ever saw.
Yeah,
Intro
one
to
of the first guys I ever slept with at 13 in daycare.
Not slept with, saw. Like you never seen a man until you were 13.
I've been blind. But yeah, I would always want to like sit with him on the bus. He was always super chill. I miss him. I can't remember his name. I don't even remember what he looks like. I just remember that he was hot. But yeah, I don't know. Like there were some parts of daycare that I missed. I missed like every day in summer, with the exception of the weekends because we'd be home. We would have like a specific thing that we would do every day. And I think I brought this up on another podcast episode, but I really missed that. That was like a pure, like it was just such a fun time. And like, I don't know, like familial life wasn't amazing as a kid. So like just to like be at daycare and like enjoy myself was really, really nice. Plus there's one board game that was kind of like a card game or whatever. And I'll explain the premise because I don't remember the name. So basically you were given a bunch of cards and this would just have like items on it, like burgers or like red, purple, like, I don't know. It was just like a bunch of random items like paintings. And so you would go like around the table and you would throw in a card and the card related to how like much you thought the person choosing is gonna like it, and then they would rank it from like 1 to 6, and if you got 1, then it's like it's like the thing they like the most of the options they have, and then you would try to get like the lowest score because you would try to get the closest to 1. It was kind of like golf. And I don't remember the name of the game. I wish I did because I really want to get the game, but that was the most enjoyable game in daycare by far. Probably one of the most enjoyable games that I've ever played in my life. Such a good game. I miss it so much. Did you ever go to daycare?
No, my grandparents were at daycare. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you just said, I literally thought you said my grandparents were at daycare. I'm like, I don't really know how that relates to answer my question, but then I got it. Do you know anyone that like went to daycare besides me? Like did any of your old friends?
Not that I know of.
Was daycare even a thing back in your day?
It wasn't that long ago.
That was like 75 years ago. That was a compliment.
How?
Because you're older.
Okay, but I want to finish my thought before we go on to
something else. I don't even remember what your thought was.
Okay, so...
Oh, no, yeah, I do.
So...
relation to...
So on this podcast, they were saying that apparently the worst phone for surveilling you is Androids.
Okay.
So this fellow was saying that the typical Android uploads your information that it's gathering 50 times an hour.
Okay. Did they say what it was with like iPhones?
No, this guy was specifically saying about how Androids are.
For a second there, you literally turned into an Android. Your voice turned very robotic. Like not that you messed up specifically, but your voice turned robotic because it like lagged. You lagged a bit.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and then it turned. You thought I was insulting you?
Yeah, I did.
And then I confirmed it by insulting you before actually explaining what I said.
Yeah.
All right.
This guy.
Oh, sorry, you're talking.
I'm not done yet. Fuck.
Sorry.
This guy, he said he uses this other phone that doesn't like all it has is an internet browser on it. That's it. This guy is really fucking paranoid. I'm like somewhere in between where I am now and this guy.
Yeah, I feel like because I mean conspiracies came out like years ago about it, and I feel like the reason why, and of course, like I believe in them. I think that they've been proven to be true, and like I just watched this on TikTok, and it was like, name me a time at your job where like you're not like the public isn't supposed to know this, but like now that you don't work there anymore, you can talk about it. And it was a girl that worked at some place that rhymes with Macemook, let's say, or Zeta or whatever the fuck. And she was talking. She was like, "Yes, we can hear you," or something like that. She said that, and I was like, "But I mean, it doesn't like it doesn't scare me in any way, really, because like if that's already been a thing for so long now, and like I already have my search history, I can't change that, and like I don't know, it's just I don't know. I don't know. It just doesn't really, but I understand the paranoia around it. It's definitely a privacy issue.
What else this guy said about Android? He says you can literally take your SIM card out of your phone, you can put it on airplane mode. He's like, as soon as you put it back in or take it off airplane mode, it's uploading all that shit in that time period up. He says the only way your phone isn't listening to you is if it's powered off. That's fucked.
Yeah, it is. I don't know. I don't really get like fully paranoid. I mean, I don't really think about it that much either. I don't spend time like kind of like needing to think about it, as far as I know.
Yeah, I think I turned that podcast off because I'm like, this is literally creating anxiety.
It's funny. So I watched a TikTok and it was this like audio. I can't really describe it. I'll show you it later. It was really funny though. But it was a guy with like his sleep paralysis demon. It was a joke. So it was like, I found it really funny because I don't have sleep paralysis. Do you have sleep paralysis?
No.
So you know what, like the demons are that people see?
Yeah.
So he was the joke was relating to it, and he was like talking to the demon, and I showed it to my mom, and she's like, I don't want to see that because I'm gonna have sleep paralysis tonight. I'm like, I don't really know if that's how it works, but sure. And then I showed the video to her anyway, but yeah, I just I don't know. Maybe there will be a time where I do worry about that stuff, but usually it's just like it's out there. If it is out there, then it's out there. And plus, I mean, I don't really watch like, other than like porn, like I don't really watch like explicit content stuff. Like on YouTube, I'll watch like Valorant and like video games and like certain YouTubers, but I don't really watch, and I guess like politics and stuff, but I don't.
Yeah, I guess Apple's not really concerned with like the gay white demographic.
Well, just take out, just have gay in there, and they're just like, okay, well, you lost me.
Hey, but you know what? I just thought of this. Did you hear about Blizzard and Microsoft, like their collaboration with
Blizzard, like Dairy Queen?
No, fuck, man. Blizzard Entertainment. Fuck.
I know. It's not. That just sounded funny to say.
Soon you can fucking play World of Warcraft on your Xbox.
Shut up. That's actually really cool. I don't like World of Warcraft, but that's cool because I know a lot of people that do, and I feel like that'll be a really cool thing to kind of have it be like cross-platform.
Right.
But
okay,
yeah, that's actually really cool.
Let's do the next topic.
Okay, so what part of the next topic do you want to do?
Let's do the Quebec.
Okay.
Quebec.
So yeah, it has been recently announced that Quebec is going to kind of impose a health tax on unvaccinated individuals, obviously in Quebec. A lot of these headlines are so weird. It's like, COVID, Quebec to impose health tax on unvaccinated Canadians, as if it's not just specific to Quebec. So yeah, there's this thing from like National Post from 3 days ago, and it's like, is the Quebec premier, I'm not butchering his name, bluffing on a tax for Quebec's unvaxxed, but then there's another one that was from a week ago, and it says feds will let it pass.
Yeah, that's the one that I read.
Yeah. So
Trudeau's been very mum about like his specific opinion on it, but he's saying the most poignant thing I heard him say was he said that incentives and penalties have worked against the fight for the fight against COVID-19. So he's like for like the premise, I guess, but like it doesn't sound like he really
believes it.
Yeah, because he's like, yeah, he doesn't really want to comment specifically on it.
It's ironic because a lot of people that like both of us do not agree with it at all. We've talked about this beforehand, but a lot of people complaining about it, understandably so, complaining about it because I'm in the same boat, but they're just like, oh yeah, this is such like a liberal like left policy, and it doesn't make sense because like okay, what's his name, hold on, let me find his fucking name.
Starts with a G, doesn't it?
Francois Legault is. Legault. I'm just gonna describe it. That's Quebec's premier's name. That's the person who's basically implementing this. So he is part of his party that he represents is called the Coalition Avenir Quebec, and like this is what the party is described as. Is a Quebec nationalist, autonomous, and conservative provincial party in Quebec.
Yeah, but Quebec is like very, very conservative, right? Like even the Bloc Québécois,
yeah,
very conservative party.
Yeah, and it's very ironic because like the people that are complaining, majority of the people that I hear complaining obviously are going to be the people from BC because that's where I'm from, and that's who I follow on like Instagram and whatever, and that's where most of my friends are. And so they're complaining about it and they're calling it like a liberal leftist policy, and it's just it is kind of ironic to me, that because Quebec's kind of the only part of the country that's implemented something like this or really suggested it even in general, and that their party is very much not liberal and very much not left. But I mean, even like Canadian conservative, they're not really like right. You know what I mean? Like they have right wing policies, but they're not like right wing. Like
Completely agree.
When you think of right wing, you think of like American right wing.
Yeah, like Republican Party.
Yeah, exactly. And
we do have like a party in Canada that's more right than any other party in North America.
The People's Party?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're the most right wing party of any party like
they're horrendous.
In North America.
They're fucking
You know that the vote compass thing? Did you see where they fall on the graph?
Literally, it's like conservative. It's like everything, and then it's just like PPC.
it's like bottom right.
Yeah.
It's like
exactly. That is so fucking ironic, though.
But they're saying too. I heard that they're saying that a $50 or $100 penalty is not enough. So I'm really curious what it's going to be, and how they're going to do it. If it's going to be like annual, like how is it going to work? Like
it is interesting because I've read a lot of cases where, like I just read this one from, I think it was, I'm trying to remember where, I think it was Ontario. It was this one family that were talking about the mother who had to avoid going to chemotherapy because the hospitals were full. Like she literally couldn't get chemo. And obviously the hospitals are full because of unvaccinated individuals. Majority of them are taking up these hospitals. And so I'm pretty sure this was in relation to actually the Quebec tax when it was announced. But hearing that, like it is extremely unfortunate that this is kind of like, I don't know how to say it, but it's unfortunate that this is even a situation to begin with where people literally can't get treatment or can't have surgeries or like, specific surgeries because like hospitals are literally full, and like this is kind of the priority. And so life-saving surgeries kind of have to be completely stalled or like postponed to a point where maybe they kind of, I guarantee you there are situations where they don't happen, where they're at a prime for like, there's a prime time where they should happen, but they can't because of everything that's happened. And in those situations, that's extremely unfortunate because it's kind of just like you're kind of saving lives to end some, you know what I mean? It's kind of just like a give and take situation. Yeah. And I don't know, but no, I definitely don't agree with the fucking unvaccinated COVID tax. I kind of just find it, and I find another thing ironic because like the same people that are saying that it's like a leftist tax aren't realizing that people who identify as leftists don't support the tax, and like majority of Canadians don't even support the tax.
Yeah, I personally think it's too. I have seen a lot of people saying that it's a left policy, but it's too authoritarian to be a
Absolutely.
left policy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like I don't like. I don't know. It's punitive. I don't like that. It's punitive. Like okay, so the vaccine passport itself, like I think that most people can see that it's not like a punitive thing. It's like, okay, like these are the things, like that's fine. You don't have to get vaccinated. These are the things that you won't be able to do.
Exactly.
Right? Where like the tax is punitive. Like this is going to take income from you.
Yeah. And it I don't know, like obviously like the tax like is like a stand, like you're basically like it affects everyone who's unvaccinated. I feel like the vaccine passport, like there are events obviously in the vaccine passports that are not essential that like not everyone does, but like not every unvaccinated person or anyone who doesn't have the passport, it's not going to affect their lives that much. Meanwhile, like this tax affects everyone who is unvaccinated. You can't get out of it.
And the other thing is too is Quebec, they but right before they announced the tax, they with their vaccine passport, they made more institutions inclusive in that. So like you couldn't go to liquor stores anymore unless you had like a vaccine passport. There was a few other ones as well, but yeah. So they've incrementally worked their way to this. The curfews. I actually think we touched on this before. I hate the curfews. Like like I'd love to see the data on what the government has of how many people contract COVID between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Like taking their dog out. Like and then there was people like, and even like the penalties for breaking curfew are very severe. I don't know.
Yeah.
But there was one thing I wanted to bring up to you. I'm curious what you think about this. So this, I heard this from a guy on a smaller podcast. Okay, so he said,
Than
so
ours. That's a thing. A
oh
smaller
no,
podcast than ours.
not smaller than ours. I just mean smaller than
Yeah.
JRE. Um,
Which every other podcast.
yeah, true. So this guy says he doesn't want to get vaccinated, but he says okay. So he says that the government basically taking away our freedom for protection. He says that's not a thing. He says safety is an illusion. So all we have are our freedoms. So basically, like for the government to say like, oh, you can't do X, Y, and Z because of COVID, like they can't because we can't do those things. They're not guaranteeing that like we're going to be any better off doing those things, not doing those things. Like, so I don't know. I thought that the philosophical argument had weight. I'm curious what you think about that.
So, okay, so I'm just a little bit. I'm trying to like wrap my head around that. So
he's basically saying that like the government can't keep us safe by taking away our freedoms. So like all we have at the end of the day is our freedoms.
Okay. I'm so sorry. It is so interesting to see what people categorize as fucking freedoms. So interesting, bitch. And like it's always interesting when like they refer to like the charter, let's say, and they're like, oh, I know my rights. Like, bitch, the charter literally says in states of emergency that your freedoms and rights are going to be limited. So like you haven't done your research on the charter, because if you had, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But I don't think
I think in this case the guy was specifically talking about the freedom of movement. He's an Australian, but he is also saying that he knows in the Australian charter that freedom of movement isn't a right. He said that.
Yeah, no, I don't see it for me or anyone. But yeah, no. I also think like there's like a weird like thought process about Australia, and it's very odd.
Like how so?
Like everyone thinks that they're in like a jail cell.
Dude, Australia,
it's not like I'm not even kidding. Like I've literally like done like so much research on it because like everyone was talking about it. Like JRE, for example, Fox News, for example, fucking what's Alex's name?
Alex Jones?
Yes, him. And like literally like people were making videos on it and they're just like, hey, I don't really know, like let me just state this off for clarifying, like this is what happens in quarantine, this is like what you can and can't do, and it's like a time-based thing, as is most countries with quarantine.
But would you at least agree that they're the most restrictive country in the world with COVID?
I mean, I don't know how restrictive other countries are, but
like in terms of like historically, like they're like, okay, you know how like in Canada, like we're one of the more aggressive countries, especially compared to the States. Mm-hmm. But like we'll do it if there's like thousands of cases every day, right? Where like this guy, I've been listening to him all throughout the pandemic. He says like in Sydney, like they'll get 4 cases and then they're on lockdown, like fucking lockdown.
Yeah.
Because they're just like, and you know what? If I think about it, like it makes sense. Like, why are we gonna let these 4 people get 3,000 people sick? Like, at least it's decisive, but I think that it is like the most severe. And I'm not using severe as like a negative thing. I'm just saying it for what it is.
I don't really know. I mean, I don't know, because like I would like no tea. I would rather live in Australia than Canada right now. I think that their tactics have been shown to be extremely effective. So I don't really look at that as like, I can't really describe that in like a way that it's like negative. Like, cause I mean, remember when we were talking about Trudeau's response to the beginning of COVID? This was even before we had a podcast, and you were talking about like the key days that he could have responded and that he missed. Or was that in relation to Trump? Was that
I
Trump?
It was Trump. It was okay. Trump.
But even
there
like Trudeau,
5 days
like
that
Trudeau,
cost him so much.
Trudeau, it was a similar story. Like there was times where he had the chance to really advocate for like certain restrictions so that it didn't get too far out of hand, and
So
he didn't take those measures. And I feel like other countries that do take those measures are always put in like such a negative light. Meanwhile, the people that talk about them negatively are also referring to like where they are, or maybe different countries, in like a weird way, because it's just kind of like a hypocritical like back and forth. I'm not saying you're hypocritical. I agree that
I know what
Trudeau
you're
and
saying. I know what
Trump
you're saying.
both did not handle this properly. Meanwhile, I feel like Australia's measurements have been proven to be extremely effective, and it makes sense. Like, it's understandable what they're doing. And honestly, like, it's like if like I was given like a table and it was like, here's how Australia is doing things, here's how Canada is doing things, I would pick Australia as the country that better handles things. And doesn't New Zealand have something similar too?
Yeah, New Zealand's very similar. I don't know about the specifics, but it is very similar.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
I
if I saw like even like a small outbreak on something, especially when it's like, let's say, like, obviously it's going to be different if it's like 4 cases and it's only a thing that's affecting your country. Like,
Yeah.
you're going to have a different reaction. But if you see it that it's like a worldwide pandemic and how it's affecting other countries, and you see, oh, hey, we have a spike like 3 or 4 cases, like, yes, I'm going to go in full lockdown, because I do not want the same thing happening here that's happening in other countries where restrictions are going to be a thing throughout the entirety of this pandemic. Meanwhile, if we get this under control and we do routine testing and like we're able to properly handle this, then we can reopen. And like obviously we're going to address the problem when it reappears, because I mean, most likely it's going to. But yeah, I mean,
I think what a lot of people, especially in BC, don't realize too is honestly, we have never been on full lockdown yet. Like, March 2020 was the closest we came, but that was more like businesses closed, people decided to stay home, all works closed, but like we were never mandated that we had to stay inside. Like, we weren't
yeah, oh
actually
yeah.
on full lockdown.
Mm-hmm. And it's just like, I mean, woo, gyms are reopened, yay. But like, I have people that, I mean, I no shade to the people that, you know, maybe you're listening to the podcast right now or watching our YouTube video, hey girl. But if you are, and like you were ones that were posting like, oh hey, like, look at Alberta and look at Saskatchewan, and like, I wish I could live there. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Alberta, okay, BC's population is around 5 million. Alberta's around 4.3. They have more than double our cases in the last 14 days. Saskatchewan has 1.1 to 1.2 million people. We have 5 million. That's over 4 times their population. And they have more than half of our cases. Like, it's just like, if you value what you view as freedoms, which are really just disguised as privileges, and you don't have the viewpoint to actually see what they really are over personal and like environmental safety, then that just shows who you are as a human being. But don't shade other people for like wanting to protect themselves for something that they can protect themselves for. They can take the measures to like not get COVID. And like, yes, I don't care if you bring up COVID's mortality rate, sweetheart. There are people still with long haul COVID that still affects them. There are people that are still immunocompromised from COVID. There are people that still have to deal with this, that like you can prevent others from dealing with it. And it's confusing. And it's another thing. I was talking to a friend. We were just like going over, like, I used to play video games with her a lot. I miss her tons. I'm sure she'll know who I'm talking about, but I was just talking to her on Instagram. She was talking about a podcast too. And she's like, how do you even get this going? I kind of explained it to her. And she posted like a clip from when we played Among Us together, and it was really funny. And then I looked at her comments, because I was like, I wonder if anyone who was playing Among Us with us, because it's like we had 10 people in the game. So I wonder if they were like commenting, and then I could like, you know, chat with them, because like I only have her from the group. And there was one that commented, and I guess he was one of the people. I don't know who he was really, but I didn't really recognize his name. But I clicked on his page, and he was like, fighting misinformation. We're all about the truth. And I was like, great. Well, I know he's fucking right wing, because that's just... Anyway, so he posted, do you remember the whole... I don't know if you've read about this, because I don't think I've mentioned it to you, but you might have just seen it in the news. It was this whole thing that was talked about, vaccinated individuals with 4 plus or more 4 or more I can't even say it. Yes, comorbidities. Oh my god. Which just basically means that they are very, very, very sick. And so it was in 75% of all vaccinated, I believe it was deaths, like deaths of people who were fully vaccinated, they had 4 or more comorbidities. And this guy had posted to his Instagram page that these people, just in general, that were dying from COVID had 4 or more comorbidities, 75% of them. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, he was saying just in general, like vaccinated, unvaccinated. And I was like, sweetheart, why? And the irony is that he categorized his page as like this fighting misinformation page. But another thing that I find ironic is when it was first announced that 75% of vaccinated individuals who had died had 4 or more comorbidities. I want to refrain from saying this word because I actually despise it now. A lot of right-wingers picked it up and they were like, oh, this is a reason not to get vaccinated. And I was like, I don't know why this has to be said. Like, this means that these people were extremely sick before even getting the vaccine and they passed away. This isn't a con against the vaccine. This is actually a pro. This is proving that people who are dying that are vaccinated are already extremely sick, and they have been sick, they were sick, they continue to be sick, and unfortunately they lost their lives trying to fight off COVID. But yeah, that's just, and then of course he posts something and it was like, I think this was relating to the US deaths, which there have been like over 800,000 now. And he was saying like 56,000 are just specifically related to only catching COVID. The other ones, you had something else with COVID. And I'm like, okay. And he was like, that's why this isn't like COVID related or something like that. I'm like, hey, that doesn't make fucking sense, because if you would have lived without COVID, obviously it's going to be considered a COVID death. If COVID is a catalyst for the reason that you are dying, then it's considered a COVID related death, especially when you're filling out a death certificate, which I've watched many videos of now, because obviously like people needed to like obviously creators, like scientific creators on platforms like TikTok, they made videos of like how to create a death certificate, or even like YouTube videos, just so people were more familiar with kind of how it related to describing a death as a COVID death. And so majority, if not all people that talk about COVID in a way that I just described, they don't know how to fill out a death certificate. And like, I'm obviously not a fucking doctor, nor do I really like fully know, but like having it explained to me, it kind of like opens your eyes, and it's like, okay, well, this makes more sense. But yeah, even if you are pro-vax, I really do encourage you to watch videos on how to fill out a death certificate. It's very informative. It's actually really cool to learn about, for me at least. But yeah, I don't know. Seeing videos or seeing posts like that is just, it's ironic to me. It's just, I don't know. Like people, I don't know how people think like that. It's just kind of whatever.
And when you're talking about people with comorbidities too, I even saw a stat where it was like, if you're overweight or obese, you're 73% more likely to have severe illness from COVID. That's just one other condition.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like it's, but then there's also like, even specifically, this was really puzzling people in the medical community really early on, when there was people that were young and that were healthy and didn't have any obvious comorbidities, that were getting killed and becoming severely ill with COVID, that we don't really quite know yet. We don't know if it's something genetic. We don't know what we probably won't know for quite some time. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, I think it's common knowledge now that COVID is a disease that affects the elderly and the ill much worse, and that's why a lot of people are saying, and it's a lot of people are doing this, a lot of people aren't, but are taking their health more seriously right now. I mean, there's a lot of people that are. There's a lot of people that are, because of isolation or drinking more, their mental health has deteriorated.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a two-pronged sword, unfortunately.
Yeah, have we talked about the Ronald McDonald thing yet? I don't think we have.
No. I was
like going through, because I keep thinking, because I've talked about it a little bit, obviously. You saw, I'm sure you saw my Instagram story about it, mm-hmm. and then I talked to you about it before. So this whole thing went viral for about 24 hours, and nobody corrected their stance on it. That actually had because basically everyone that talked about it in a negative light. I didn't talk about it like making posts about it, but when I first heard about it, I was like, what the fuck's going on here? So this video went viral of, I believe it was a father reacting to the announcement of their kid being removed from the Ronald McDonald House because they were having a vaccine mandate implemented, and he was what he described as being evicted. Now, it doesn't sound like it was communicated in the best way, but it also doesn't sound like it was communicated that he was being evicted. Like it didn't sound like it was ever mentioned that eviction was even a possibility. And so this was announced, I can't remember, it was like a couple weeks ago, and this like went, which it'll be like a week another week by the time we uploaded this episode. And I saw many posts about it on Instagram. I don't care about if I'm being shady. I fucking made a post about it. So a person that I used to work with, they literally made a GoFundMe for it without doing an adequate amount of research. And there was other GoFundMes made for this family, and they ended up raising close to $200,000. And I heard about it, and I was really shocked by it, because I was like, they're evicting all the family. I'm just like, that aren't vaccinated. I'm just like when I first heard about it, I was like, I guarantee you this is like just a miscommunication. I guarantee you they're moving these families to a different facility, or they're going to work with them as best as they can, which is what they're doing, by the way. And so I looked for an update yesterday or the day before yesterday. I can't remember. And of course I found the update, and the update was literally day after the video went viral, but nobody had posted anything about it. And I didn't do any, like, I don't know. I was fucking busy. I didn't do any like updated research, but I would expect if you're going to post something so like passionately, that you're gonna post the update and like not like apologize, but just like, hey, here's an update, like this is actually what's going on. But I hope to God more than anything that, not more than anything, but I hope to God that this person and the other GoFundMes that were created, but this person that I used to work with that made the GoFundMe, I hope you paid the people back off of a sham. Which I don't care. Maybe you didn't know it was a sham. You should have done more research. Not to be shady or anything. I don't care if you're watching this. But I don't, it doesn't look like the family is paying anyone back. I hope they are, but of what I've seen, it doesn't look like they are. It doesn't look like they have any notion to. It doesn't look like they have any want to or whatever, but I don't know. I hope they are. That's a lot of fucking money. But yeah, it like they basically came out, the Ronald McDonald Foundation came out with a statement, and they were like, we never planned to evict anyone. We just planned to work with families as best as we could that weren't able to get exemptions, that weren't able to, or just didn't, like, were not vaccinated and weren't able to get exemptions of any kind. And like I don't think I haven't read anything about like when they're gonna kind of like, or how long they're gonna have this mandate in for. I think it goes in on the 31st or something like that. I can't really remember. But yeah, I don't know. Just kind of reading about that, I was like, it's just like an instinct that you have. I mean, of course, I don't know. Like maybe this would have been a thing where they were just like evicting families, but like, I don't know, that just didn't sound like something that was going to happen. And it's unfortunate that like there were so many posts about it by so many people that I followed, and nobody, no one, not a single person. I checked through all of my Instagram stories. Not a single person over the last 2 weeks has posted an update. It's honestly disgusting, honestly. Because like if I posted something and I was like, this is like, what is this? This is crazy. And then I found out something completely different to what I initially thought it was, I would be posting an update. Be like, okay, this update came out, and it's just like.
You think maybe they don't know?
Well, they do now. I saw them view my story. I went through all my viewers, and they still ain't posting an update. And I guarantee you they do know, because like, you made a GoFundMe on it. Girl, like, I hope you're doing your research. I hope that you're reading every article and seeing that it's a scam. But I don't know. I don't know. It's funny. This one article headline is Ronald McDonald House sparks anti-vax clown show in BC.
What was the source of that article?
ipolitics.ca. I've never really heard of them before, but I find that really funny. They're like the fourth. I looked up Ronald McDonald House vaccine, and they're the fourth article that shows up. But yeah, if you guys want to read more about it, there's like I think there's like multiple articles, like CTV, CBC, Vancouver Sun. They all mention it. And yeah, I mean, I'm sure that they don't say specifically how they're gonna like what they're going to do for the families that are unvaccinated. I'm assuming it's going to be like kind of like hotel sort of assistance, or maybe just like another facility. But yeah, I mean, what did you read much about it when I like mentioned it to you before like I gave you the update?
Not really.
Thank you. I see how much I mean to you.
I try to ignore most of the things you say.
I know. Wow. But I don't know. It's just like yeah, I mean, I can like understand to a certain extent. You're obviously given like a video that went viral of like a reaction to it, and then he had the paper too, and like he showed the paper and everything and whatever. But like it's just like I said, I can understand to a certain extent. Making a GoFundMe and like donating, like spending money on something that you don't have full knowledge of, or like you haven't done enough research on. No. That's the extent that I don't grasp. Especially, yeah, I don't know. It's just unfortunate. Like I feel like a lot of people are just so like stuck in their pride that they won't admit. And it's not even like admitting when you're wrong. Like you are given a certain amount of information. All you need to do is just they might have been, they should be, but you don't need to be. Like if you were given a certain amount of information and you were given like information the following days or data the following days that is different than what you initially had, just post the updated information and just be like, okay, here it is. Like, not to worry, you guys. Like you don't even have to say I was wrong. It shouldn't even be like an embarrassment. You're embarrassing yourself by keeping up the charade. Like, it's just like an easy one too. It's just people are just like too stuck in their pride to admit when they're wrong. But I don't know what that's like because I'm never wrong. Wait, what else were we going to talk about? Was there? Oh, BC like COVID restrictions.
Yeah. Do you want to do that now? Then we're just gonna have a tough time thinking of topics for next time.
True, but I mean, how much content can we have off of this topic? I mean, like, I'm down to save it for next episode.
It's up
because
to you.
Like we're at the hour and 15-minute mark, but I don't even know how much content in general we're gonna get from this. Well, I mean, obviously we'll still have other stuff, but I mean, yeah, we can do it next episode. We're at an hour 15. We can do our fucking of the sessions.
Oh fuck! Now this shit again. Fuck. Do you have one?
I have like a thought in my head, but I don't know how to describe it. Okay. So, what's your like? It'll be like favorite versus least favorite, and I don't think we've talked about this before. So like, or it could be like something you're like newly into versus like something that you've always hated. Could be either like an article of clothing or like a fashion trend. So like, I'll go first.
Okay.
So I'm really into cardigans. Got one now. I'm ordering some more soon. Like cardigans, turtlenecks, kind of like. Not like, I don't know how to describe it, like thin baggy pants, like anything that's just like super easy flowing. I've been like really into recently. I'm like literally ordering I'm doing another fucking like clothing order soon. But I would say those are like my tops right now. Same with like long earrings.
I'm the one who talked you into that.
You talked me into gold earrings, bitch.
No, I talked you into danglies.
Did you?
I said gold and dangly. That was me, motherfucker.
No, wait, hold on, wait, because I remember I said I had an interest in earrings, and then you were talking about gold because I was like, should I go silver or should I go gold?
And I was like, gold's in.
And then you were like gold, and then you were like, oh, I found this one YouTuber that has these types of earrings that I feel like
it's that Zach guy, isn't
it?
Yeah,
but I was gonna order the earrings already. I was just like, should I get silver or gold?
Oh, okay.
I still want a necklace. I really want to get myself a necklace. But yeah, I feel like those would be like my tops for now. Also, same with like some really nice stilettos. Like really, really nice, like shiny, not matte or anything. Like some shiny, like red or black. Like, I would say that too. My least favorite. I hate flats. Like, you know, like thin flats, like ballet flats. Like, I hate those types of shoes. Unless, like, you're literally using them for fucking ballet. Um, I don't like boxers. I don't know why. They're just like
So
not the most comfortable. They're just like
sorry,
too airy.
boxers are the tight ones or the loose ones?
Loose ones.
What the fuck?
I don't like loose. I like tight. Like boxer briefs are really good. I love briefs. I don't really
Yeah,
like
I'm not.
boxers.
I'm not a fan of briefs. I'm the opposite.
Good.
Are we talking about? So we're talking about things that we're into and things that we used to like that
Yeah.
we're not into.
Well, no, no,
Okay.
no. We can talk like things that we're into and things that like we don't like or like we've never liked. Like like shoulder pads. I was like, yeah, they're back in session. Like I don't. I'm indifferent about shoulder pads or like it is shoulder pads, right?
Yeah,
Okay, good.
but that's like an eight. It's like an '80s trend.
Yeah, I know, but like sometimes people like want to bring it back up and like.
Yeah, it is. I mean, '80s stuff is coming back around.
Right. Um. I think that's like all I can think of right now.
Okay.
Of like loose cocktail dresses. That too. If you're gonna wear a cocktail dress, like make it like fit to your body. I feel like I don't know, like I just don't like loose cocktail dresses. Like you need to have like a really nice like or if you were going to have a loose cocktail dress, have it like nice and flowy so like when you turn or like do like a little spin, it's like a little cute. But no, like nothing like I don't know. I just find a lot of them to be like really unflattering. But yeah, that's just my opinion. I don't know. You do you, girl. What about you?
So things I'm into now, I like. I've come to around to like skinny jeans a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, I always used to
Good
like
pick.
when I was in high school. I always used to wear like really fucking baggy clothes, and my pants would like go down below my ass, so my ass hung out.
Yeah,
Um,
mood. Nobody wants
but
to see that.
speak for yourself. Um,
Who
yeah.
else am I speaking for? You? Speak for yourself.
Hey, don't interrupt me. So skinny jeans. Skinny jeans. I'm into that. What else am I into? Um, um, like jean jackets.
Okay, good choice.
Yeah, jean
Not
jackets.
for me personally, but I do like them on. I like the look of jean jackets.
Leather jackets. Always been into leather jackets, but like specific types of leather jackets, like sleek leather jackets, not like the big zone biker ones with all the buckles and shit. Like, not a fan of that. Things I don't like, I've never liked. Okay, I'm like very.
Oh, trench coats for me too. Trench coats to love. Anyway,
Fuck
sorry. Go ahead.
no, I hate trench coats.
Okay, you literally described it. You're like everyone that wears a trench coat looks like you're so creepy and a pedophile. Like, girl,
Pedophile.
yeah. Apparently, according to the Catholic Church, I am one. So
It looks like you'd open your trench coat and you'd be nothing on underneath. Like that's like something that I'm sure happens all the time.
nothing on, just some socks.
So that's what I was gonna say. So I'm very particular about my type of sock. So like thin socks, can't fuck with that. Ankle socks, can't fuck with that.
Knee-high socks, love.
Okay, it's better than like what I just mentioned. So
ankle,
okay.
yeah, I don't really like ankle socks.
Yeah, so like my parents bought me for Christmas, not this year but the year before, these Lululemon socks. Dude, I gave them to my dad. They're not even ankle socks. They fucking come up halfway on your foot.
Yeah, I got those too, and it's annoying because like I used to just like be like, okay, yeah, these are fine, because I used to wear like normal like shoes, but then I got my fucking like Timberlands, and like they go up higher, so like I don't like the feeling of Timberlands.
Yeah.
On just like skin. It's just weird.
But what's the point of those socks? And they're like $40 a pair. Like,
yeah.
What's the point of them? I don't get it. What else do I not like? Fucking briefs.
Briefs are they're so comfy.
I don't like nut huggers. Like, I feel constrained.
You don't have much there.
How do you know?
I've heard from my lady friends. I'm just kidding.
What?
My grandma told me the other day that. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean, that would be an accurate.
My great grandma. I don't know.
All right, so now it's my turn. Fuck.
So now it's my turn, as if it hasn't already been your turn.
No, to think of one.
Wait, but did you do stuff? Oh yeah, you did. Sorry, I literally do not listen well to you. Oh my God.
You're such a bitch.
Okay, but like I do, because like I'll ask something and then I'll remember it like as I'm asking it. I was about to say, like, did you do the stuff that you didn't like? And I was like, wait, you literally just described briefs.
You just interacted with me in that. Okay, I got it.
Okay.
Place that you most have to go to before you die.
Sorry. Place that you most have to go to before you die.
Okay, bucket list travel destination. How about that?
Thank you. Okay,
And
hold on. What do you mean, how about that? Do you really think that that was an accurate fucking sentence or an accurate
I
question?
don't fucking know.
Place that you most have to go to?
How about place that you would never go to under any circumstance also?
Your house. Okay. Top of my bucket list. Ooh, this is difficult. So I follow like I don't know how to describe it, like travel places on Instagram. You know what I mean? Like they post like pictures from like around the world. So I feel like I see like a bunch of places there that are like really pretty and like really nice, and I would love to go to, like lavender fields.
Mm-hmm.
Like those are like super pretty, but I think just like a place in general. I'll just do like a country because I feel like that'll be like,
that's probably what I'm gonna do too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would love to go to France. I would love to go to Iceland. I've seen some really, really nice places in Iceland.
Iceland's a good one, yeah.
Greece. I feel like Greece would be a really nice country to go to. It looks really beautiful there. I would probably like one of those three at my top. Obviously there are like specific places, like I mentioned, like lavender fields, or like specific like national parks, or like waterfall, or like, I don't know, like forests, like I would love to go to and see. But I think just in general, those countries. So a country that I wouldn't go to,
yeah, under any circumstances,
the United States.
You've already gone there.
And I have learned my lesson.
You wanted to move there like 3 months ago.
Shut the fuck up.
You did.
Not 3 months ago, bitch. You always say it as if like I just did, but no.
Okay,
it's been
4
like,
months ago?
No, it's been like a year since I've fucking not wanted to. I don't know if there's like a country that I wouldn't go to. Like, are there countries that are like literally in the middle of like a war right now? Russia.
Ukraine.
I wouldn't go to Russia.
Ukraine's literally being invaded by Russia.
No, I know, but like Russia's a fucking shithole. It's not like a shithole, but it's a shit country.
We should talk about that one next podcast. We should talk about the Russia and
Ukraine, right? And how they're just, yeah. We could.
Okay.
What about you?
Yeah. So sorry, you said like you can't think like Russia. That's it.
I mean, I'm just basing that off of like they wouldn't accept me, bitch. I'd have to lower my voice.
Oh, that's true. That's actually true. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So for me, bucket list, like for sure, it's the one country is Ireland. Would love to go to Ireland.
That's a good choice.
Yeah, just like jolly people, like really nice geography, like good
jolly people. That was
What?
just funny how you're describing them.
Let me fucking finish before you interrupt. Good beer, good Irish whiskey. It just seems like a good place to go. I also want to go to Germany, and I want to go to the UK. Places I would never go. Australia, because of the bugs and shit.
Oh, fuck out of here, Jordan. You're such a pussy. Dude, literally such a pussy.
Have you seen the house spiders?
Do you know like
They're
the
as big as
odds?
you.
Do you know the odds of me? That's not big. Oh, you mean my height. They're like do you know the odds of you actually like running into one? That's like you would avoid travel.
Fucking hot.
No, you would avoid travel to a fucking beautiful country. Like Australia is beautiful because of the odd chance that you might run into a fucking spider.
Or a snake.
So?
Or a tarantula.
So?
That same reason I wouldn't go to Brazil.
Why? Brazil's gorgeous. Brazil's gorgeous.
You go to the Amazon.
Have you seen Brazilian men?
Die.
Brazilian men are fucking gorgeous.
I'm not interested in men, Justin.
Brazilian women are gorgeous. This is coming from a gay guy, so you know it's not true.
Yeah, but then you like they turn around, they've got a tarantula on their back.
But I mean, Brazilian women are actually really gorgeous.
Yeah, they are. But I'm not talking about the women. I'm talking about the insects.
I literally registered that in my brain as like INSEX. I was like, insects. But I still, that shouldn't like that. You can run into that in any country that you go to. You can run into wildlife like that.
That's not true.
That is so true.
Okay, where in Canada can you find like a fucking house spider or a tarantula?
Bitch, are you kidding me?
I'm talking about like the Australian house spiders that like are like fucking like a meter long.
I don't know that specific like fucking spider, but you can find huge ass fucking spiders in Canada. And yes, tarantulas are not just fucking relevant to Australia.
Wait, are there actually tarantulas in Canada? Hold on.
Bitch, are you fucking looking this up right now, dude?
Hell yeah, I'm looking it up.
Well, I'm gonna join you.
Oh, that's a very common search, apparently. Oh, there are. There's 2 species.
About 1,400 species of spiders.
Ah, why did I click on it? Ah, fuck. That was horrifying.
Me when I look at like straight porn.
Oh, God.
Or like
that was horrific. I'd rather look at gay porn.
my
than
honest.
that.
Would you actually?
Probably. That was horrifying.
That's
I guess
so
like
funny.
when I see like a big spider, I have like this, you know, okay, they say this is like an evolutionary trait because like it kept us alive, but like I get this like, ugh, like my skin feels like it's crawling.
So now knowing that, you don't want to live in Canada.
Ugh.
Oh, that's so funny. And I love how it's like from Ontario, Alberta, and British Columbia.
Oh, does it say that?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I could have gone the rest of my life without knowing
I know,
that.
that's why
So
I
thank you
said
for
it.
that.
That's why I said it. But like give a good answer. Don't just give like a fucking
Dude!
like pussy answer.
You gave a shitty answer.
How
You're
is
just
that
like-
a shitty
you're just
answer?
You're just
The
like, oh, Russia.
treatment.
'cause they don't like
how
gay
they would
people.
treat me? But you agreed with it. Don't
I'll
even
treat you like that. I
don't
even like
even
you.
don't even, bitch. Roll the fucking tape. You fucking agreed with it. You were like, okay, yeah, that, yeah,
Yeah, I know they would.
yeah.
But mine was legitimate too.
No, yours could literally happen in any fucking country.
You know what was
You're
fucked
just
too?
a pussy.
When I was a kid, hey, excuse me, none of that toxic masculinity here.
You're
please.
a pussy. That ain't
this
toxic
is-
masculinity.
This
That's
is
just
a
the
safe
truth.
space, okay?
No,
When I
this
was
ain't a
kid,
safe space for straight men.
when me and my family would go to Mexico when I was a kid, there was this one resort we stayed in, and like didn't like I don't know how, but like some nights you'd go into the room and there'd just be like a fucking like a what are those things like? It's not like it's some type of lizard, but not like an iguana, not like
A
a
gecko?
big ass one, like a gecko. Yeah, there'd be a gecko in the room, like on the roof, like in the room.
That's so
And,
cool.
dude. I couldn't sleep.
That's so cool. I'm sorry. That's so cool.
I couldn't
Like
fucking
a
sleep.
gecko. I mean, like I would understand like the kind of like the fear over like a snake or a spider, but like a gecko, that's cool.
I don't like slimy creatures or insects. Like I just can't do it.
I don't like you.
I don't know what to tell you.
Pick an action. Pick a country, and for a good
I
reason.
picked 2.
No, for a good reason, bitch. Oh. Sorry, this email popped up. It's for my Mensa test.
Oh, I didn't even hear anything.
Why would you?
Well, then why are you so freaking out? Why are you?
Because it
you
pops up on my screen.
Because you couldn't
and
see
where
me.
I'm
You were
recording,
worried for a second.
where I'm recording, it's literally in the same frame. Miss
See how
ma'am.
See how worried you get when you can't see me anymore?
Choose a country.
I picked 2.
You
Those
did
are my
not.
answers.
That's not a good. That's not a good reason.
Too bad.
No.
Yeah.
You would go to Russia. Actually, well, yeah. Of course, you would go to Russia. You're a fucking straight cis man. You check off all of the fucking
Wait,
checks.
so as a straight cis man, why would that make me want to go to Russia?
Well, no, I'm not saying that would make you want to. That just it makes you like it wouldn't make you not want to. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Is that it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. We've just passed the hour and a half mark. We made good time. Alrighty, well, yeah, that's the end of the session. Hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah, like always, let us know what you guys think. If you have any opinions or if you want us to talk about anything specifically, we'll catch you guys in the next. Bye. With your fucking ambidextrous fucking... All right, bye guys. Thanks.